You are 30 years old. You are standing in your kitchen at 11 p.m. on a Wednesday. The lights are on, but the rest of the apartment is quiet. You are looking at your bank account on your phone. The number on the screen is not zero. But it is close enough that zero feels like the right word for it. You are not broke in the way people talk about being broke. You have a job, you pay your bills, you eat, but there is nothing left after all of that. No savings, no investment, no plan. Just the same number at the end of every month that tells you exactly how far you have not come. And tonight, standing in this kitchen, holding this phone, something is different. You are 30. You always thought that by 30 you would have more. Not necessarily a lot more, just more than this. And the specific feeling of standing here at 30 with nothing saved is not sadness. It is not anger. It is the quiet, particular panic of someone who just realized the clock has been running and they did not notice. But here is what you also feel tonight. For the first time in a long time, you feel something else underneath the panic. A decision forming. Not a plan yet, not a system, just a decision. That this is the last Wednesday night you stand in this kitchen and feel this way. This is where your story actually starts. Not at 22, when everyone says it should have started. Not at 25, when you still had time to waste. At 30, in a kitchen, at 11 p.m., with a phone in your hand and a number that is almost nothing. Age 30. The fear is real and you do not pretend it is not. You sit down at the kitchen table. You open your laptop. You search how to start building wealth from scratch. You read for 2 hours. Some of it sounds impossible. Some of it sounds like something you could actually do if you started small and stayed consistent. You write 3 things on a piece of paper. Spend less than you earn. Save something every month, no matter how small. Make your money work while you sleep. You look at what you wrote. It feels too simple to be the answer, but you write it anyway. You close the laptop at 1 a.m. You go to bed. You do not sleep immediately. You lie in the dark and you feel the fear properly for the first time. The fear that it is too late. The fear that you wasted the years when it was supposed to be easy. The fear that the people who started at 22 are already so far ahead that catching up is impossible. You feel all of that. And then you close your eyes. And you make the decision again, quietly, in the dark. Tomorrow it starts. Age 31. The first year is not glamorous. You wake up in the same apartment. You go to the same job. But something inside the days is different now. Every morning before you leave for work, you sit at the small desk in the corner of your bedroom for 20 minutes. You are learning, not in a classroom, from your phone, from a book, from videos on a laptop screen while the city outside your window is still dark. You open a savings account. The first deposit is small, embarrassingly small. You transfer it anyway. You cut the subscriptions you forgot you had. The streaming service you watched twice. The app that charged you monthly for something you cannot even name. You cook at home 4 nights a week instead of 1. Not because you enjoy cooking, because the numbers matter now. Because every small decision is a vote for the future you are trying to build. Your friends do not notice any of this. You go out with them on weekends. You order the cheaper thing on the menu and say you are not that hungry. Nobody asks. Nobody knows that you are running a different calculation now. The months pass. The savings account grows slowly. In month 3, it has age 33. You check your total for the first time. Savings plus investments. The number is not life-changing, but it is the largest number you have ever had in your name. You sit with that for a moment. You are at the kitchen table. It is a Sunday afternoon. The city outside your apartment window is moving the way cities move on Sunday afternoons. Slowly, warmly, with nowhere particular to be. And you are sitting here with a number that did not exist 3 years ago. A number you built. Not from luck. Not from a windfall. From 20 minutes every morning and a decision made in this kitchen at 11 p.m. when you were 30 years old. You do not celebrate out loud. You are not that person. But inside, quietly, something settles. Something that has been unsettled for a long time. A sense that you are finally moving in a direction. That the ground beneath you is more solid than it was. Age 35. The momentum starts to feel real. You get a small raise at work. Instead of absorbing it into your spending the way you would have at 29, you redirect it immediately. The raise goes straight into the investment account before your lifestyle has a chance to expand around it. This is the rule you learned that changed everything. Every time your income increases, your investment rate increases first. Your lifestyle comes second. It sounds simple. It is one of the hardest things you have ever done consistently, because the raise feels like permission to breathe. It feels like the reward you earned, and you take a small part of it as a reward. But the larger part goes to work before you get used to having it. Your investment account crosses a number that feels significant, not because of what it can buy right now, because of what compound interest will do to it over the next 10 years. You run the numbers on a Sunday evening sitting at your desk. You stare at the projection. You close the laptop. You open it again. You stare at the projection again. The money you have right now, if you stop adding to it today and simply let it grow, will double in approximately 7 years. You are 35. In 7 years, you will be 42. The number will have doubled without you doing anything more. And you are still adding to it every month, without stopping. Age 38. Your life looks different from the outside now. Not dramatically different, but different in ways that add up. You moved to a better apartment. Not the most expensive building on the street, but 1 floor up, 1 room bigger, a city view from the living room that you did not have before. You did not lease a new car, but the car you drive now starts every morning without the specific anxiety of a car that might not start. You eat at restaurants sometimes without doing the mental calculation before you order. Not always, but sometimes. And the feeling of ordering without calculating is one you still notice, because you remember when it was not possible. Your friends have started asking questions, not openly, but in the way people ask things sideways when they are trying to understand something they cannot quite name. You seem different lately, less stressed maybe. What is going on with you? You smile and say things are going well. You do not explain the 20 minutes every morning. You do not explain the investment account or the compound interest or the Sunday evenings running projections at your desk. Not because it is a secret, because the gap between where they are and where this conversation would need to start is too wide for a casual dinner. And you are okay with that. You have learned that not everyone needs to understand your building. They will see the building when it is finished. Age 40. You are sitting on the balcony of your apartment. It is early morning. The city is doing what cities do in the early morning, waking up slowly, street by street, light by light. You have a coffee. You are not in a hurry. You have not been in a hurry the way you used to be in a hurry for a while now. Because the thing that used to make you hurry, the anxiety of not having enough, the pressure of the number at the end of the month, has loosened its grip. Not gone, not completely, but loosened. You are 40 years old. 10 years ago, you were standing in a kitchen at 11 p.m., looking at a number that was almost zero. You had no savings, no investment, no plan. Just a phone and a quiet panic, and a decision forming in your chest that you were not sure you could keep. You kept it. Not perfectly. There were months where you did not save enough. There were years where the market went down and your account lost value and the fear came back. There were moments when you questioned whether the sacrifice was worth it. There were weekends where your friends were spending freely and you were calculating. There were nights in your late 30s where the progress felt invisible and the goal felt distant, and the quiet voice that said, "Maybe it is too late," came back and sat with you for a while. You felt all of that, and you kept going anyway. Not because it was easy, because the alternative, standing in that kitchen at 40, at 50, at 60, with the same number that was almost zero, was a future you had already decided to refuse. You started at 30 with nothing. No head start, no inheritance, no perfect moment. Just a decision made in a quiet room that nobody else knew about yet. And now look at where that decision took you. The people who told you it was too late were never building anything. They were just comfortable being still. You were not. And that is the only difference between where you are now and where you were the night you decided to start. Subscribe. Every video on this channel shows you what each level of life actually looks like from the inside. The next one might be the one that changes how you see everything.